So the game finishes Forest 1, Wolves 1. A score draw. Let's get into the player ratings. Good morning, good evening, or good night. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the player ratings where, to be honest, the second half was a bit of a draw for me. But I really did enjoy that first half. If you're enjoying the content, as always, take a quick second. Please do hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And look, there are positives, plenty of them. First one, we're still undefeated. Would you have said we'd draw both home games and win away? I think I would have. I honestly think we should be on about 7 points, which would put us top of the league. But anyway, that's not the point here. In terms of the game itself, I liked the lineup. Yes, I would have made some tweaks. I would have really liked Jota to have started ahead of Elanga. I wanted to see Alex Moreno and Aina as the fullbacks. And to be honest, after Callum Hudson-Odoi, he for me was a bit too predictable. I think the substitution of Sosa needed to be done earlier. He came on and he just looked like he played with a lot of energy, like he wanted to prove a point, like he should be starting. Whereas Callum Hudson-Odoi was a bit too predictable for me. And I just think the substitutions in general, for me, are the theme of this game. And they've been the theme of Nuno for quite a while now. He's making them too late. He's making the right substitutions, but he's just making them a bit too late. Had he made some of those substitutions earlier and batched them a little, instead of bringing Yates on by himself and then Sosa on by himself, if he made those substitutions, I think a lot of us, and me in particular, were crying out for it at half time. Those changes needed to be made. I think Sangare should have come off at half time. Elanga should have come off at half time. Probably wouldn't have taken Callum Hudson-Odoi off at half time, but maybe switched Neco Williams, because what Cunha and Aït-Nouri were doing down that left-hand side were doubling up on him, and he was struggling there as well. But the first half was so entertaining, especially in the build-up to where Forest took the lead. It was turning into a basketball match. There was lots of nice passages of play for me. We took the lead, and then you make the cardinal sin error of conceding early. I think you could, if you want to blame someone, I mean, you can't on the shot. It was a worldie. Sels is not to blame for me at all. Sangare's clearance was a little lazy. He could have got it further down the pitch instead of more sideways. And then Aina didn't need to turn away from the ball like that. He literally got out the way. In terms of the goal itself, it was a lovely corner from Anderson, floated in deep into the box, and Wood just guided his header then and gets himself another goal. However, I will still say Wood's overall input into the game isn't that much for me. He's still playing too deep. There was so many times where he's behind Morgan Gibbs-White, and Morgan Gibbs-White gets the ball, he looks up, and there's no one in front of him to play. And I think that is a problem. And then when Taiwo came on, he looked more knackered when he came on than Wood did, who had, fair play to him, stayed on for the whole match. Taiwo is either seriously not sharp, or he is seriously low on confidence, or both of them. But Sosa, for me, was brilliant when he came on. I thought Anderson for about 70 minutes was sensational. He then himself looked knackered. And Morgan Gibbs-White, when we went into the 4-4-2, when he played deeper in the 8, I felt he was more involved in controlling the game. I didn't think he had the greatest of first halves, but when he went into the 8, I'm kind of being convinced now to play him a little bit deeper. Maybe put Jota as the 10 if he wants to stick with a 4-2-3-1. Play Morgan a bit deeper and then have your two wingers. That could potentially work. So there's a lot of goods. There's still some definite improvements that need to be made. That's 4 points we've now dropped already this season from winning positions. So, you know, there is some stuff that needs to be worked on. But we're 8th in the table, subject to the rest of the games that needs to be played. And we're in a comfortable position. All things right now are indicating towards a Crystal Palace style season where we just kind of meander into mid-table. And to be honest, with my heart as it is, I would take that. I would take that. So let's get into the player ratings. The link is pinned for you guys in the chat, so get your votes in as well for the player ratings. Rate them from 0 to 10 individually, with 6 being the average. The average for a substitute came on is 5, and then we'll have a look at what you guys have done as well. Stuart, mate, Stuart, you're just like, you're leaving me speechless, mate. You're leaving me speechless. Wait, where's my camera? Hold on, let's just get there. It is. Stuart, that's about 40 quid today. I can't thank you enough, mate. You're an absolute legend. Because we need an EA sponsor with this pinball kind of football and strategy. Time management in games is key, especially in the Christmas period. Yeah, I agree. The thing that you worry about is the fitness as well of the team. Because again, we looked like we were gassing out towards the end. And why is that the case? We've had 3 or so weeks of Premier League football, a full pre-season where things look good. And overall, should they be sharp by now? You know, thank you again, Stuart. You're an absolute legend, bro. Okay, let's get into the player ratings, and we'll kick it off with Sels. Look, Sels was fine for me. No real issues with Sels, but I'm going to sound repetitive. My main issue was the bloody long balls. I'll give the excuse from the other week that I think Rob came up with, that Sels was, you know, playing it long to avoid the press. Wolves weren't that high pressy. So I don't know why we had that strategy of the long ball still. That one's annoying me. It's definitely an instruction. But overall, he didn't really have many saves to make. He had no chance against the goal. I'm going to give him probably a 7, I think. It was fine. I got no issues with his performance. So I'll give Sels a 7 out of 10. You guys have gone 6.08 for Sels. 99 of you have voted. Could one more vote so my OCD doesn't go into overload? I've seen that comment what Adam's put in there a lot. Sels was okay, but would Miguel have made the save today? That's the whole butterfly effect. So we don't know. The answer is we don't know. He may have done, he may not have done. We don't know. We don't know. Okay, let's move on to the right back, and that is Neco Williams. Let's just bring him up. I'm still not sold on Neco Williams. I thought they targeted him. A lot of Wolves attacks came in from that side. His shooting is woeful. He did really well to create the chance and then just blazes it over the bar. I'm not sold on him. Maybe it's because I'm fixated in my head of Aina moving out to the right-hand side and Alex Moreno on the left. I don't know, but you know, his shot was nearly as high as Taiwo's penalty. I just feel he's weak defensively, like physically. I mean, weak. And I'm not buying the hype into him at all. I'm going to give Neco a 5 out of 10 for me today. I don't think he produces enough. Right? Remember, how much did we pay for him? Was it 17.5 million? And you got Aina, who was a free. Okay, I know price means nothing, but 17.5 million when we got promoted put him at our 2nd or 3rd most expensive signing that season. Yes, he's improved under Nuno, but the output isn't there for me. What's he got? 1 goal and 2 assists in 2 and a bit years now. I think we need to look at this right-hand side quite seriously. All right, see what you guys did. Whoops. You guys went with a 5.4. So we're on about the same thinking. Excuse me. Disappointed. We should be on 9 points by now, says Jeff. Coulda, woulda, should have. Absolutely. Colour saying no quality. I think Neco was maybe weakest on the pitch for us today, says Adam. Look, I don't think he was bad. He just... the output's not there for me. The output's not there for me. So that's what you guys went for Neco. Now, in terms of Milenkovic, he was unnoticeable today, which is exactly what I want from my centre-back. Let's just bring him up. What's his name again? Milenkovic. It's exactly what I want from my centre-back. Calm, composed, no issues at all with his performance. In fact, every time he was on the ball, I felt comfortable within myself. I felt like he was going to find the right pass, and he did. I don't think our centre backs were under any duress today. Maybe one or two little half chances here and there, but I think he was fine. I think it's fine. I'm going to give him a 7. I thought he was good. Let's see what you guys did. You guys went a 6.8. We're not a million miles off today, each other, chat, are we? Seeing a few 7.5s in the chat from you guys. Pat going as high as an 8. I don't think it was an 8 performance. I don't really think there was an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 performance on the pitch today. Maybe Anderson, but it was like a general average performance across the board of 6.7s for me, roughly speaking, if I'm generalizing. In terms of Murillo, I thought Murillo was just as solid as Milenkovic. Nothing too bad, really. I honestly don't think they were under too much stress. I don't think they were under too much. I'm just going to match him up with the 7. No mistakes from him. Nothing like wow, like when he tried to go forward. I'm just going to match them up. See what you guys say. 6.9. Murillo had another goal line clearance today, so did he? I can't remember, mate. I can't remember. I'm lacking in a little bit of sleep. All right, a few of you saying 8. A lot of you saying 7, 6.5s in there. You guys do what you want to do. This is your platform to say how you felt. But I'm going to 7. As you lot together combined, you've gone at 6.9, so not bad. Okay, let's move on to Aina. I don't think it was Aina's best game today. I need to watch the goal back. But I do feel he could have been braver and put his body in line with the shot, whereas he turned away to the left and almost opened the channel up for the shots. I do put partial blame on him. I don't think his link-up play was amazing with Callum Hudson-Odoi today. But did he make it full 90, which is a plus point because he does tend to come off a lot. So you miss Wolfie arguing in the chat. I would argue, Josh, but to be honest, you lot is kind of agreeing with a lot of what I'm saying. So I don't know what to say now. He's probably a 5 for me. Now, am I then being a hypocrite by saying moving him to the right and dropping Neco Williams? Maybe. But I need to watch it back. But as far as I remember, he turned away from the shot and stepped to his left-hand side and just said, have a crack, mate. Have a crack. Why do we always have to get beaten by worldies, guys? That really does bug me. It really does bug me. But anyway, I've gone a 5 for Aina. You guys have gone 6.3. So, okay, we are a little different there. Maybe I'm a little harsh. On him. That harsh? You'd have gone a 2, says Mark. I don't think he was a 2. I'm not saying he was bad. He just was average today. Average. Okay, you guys are arguing this one. Okay, this is where the fun starts. There's a lot of arguing because we don't close down. I agree with that as well once. We do just stand off sometimes. It's a little annoying. All right, this one's going to be fun with the agendas. Sangare. Now, what I will say is I don't think he had a good game. Okay, I think Cunha had him on toast today and was able to get past him at any point he wanted to accelerate past him. He was able to. Okay, that I will 100% concede. But to say he was rubbish and poor, I think that's too far for me. Okay, because he was putting in some decent tackles. Now, a lot of the times when he was making the tackles, they were just breaking back to a Wolves player, so he wasn't getting too much support in there. So there was a lot of hate coming towards Sangare, probably Brucey on his fake accounts. But I don't think it's bad. My bigger concern, more so, was that his stamina levels are shocking. Now, did he come off because of the knock he got just before half time? I think that may have been the reason. And maybe they said they'd try him out for 5 to 10 minutes. But again, I probably would have taken him off at half time. So I don't think he had a good game. I think that's probably his worst game since pre-season, as in since last season almost. But this is the general problem I still have with our midfield. We never seem to have a pairing that can just dominate, hold the ball up, control the pace of the game, slow it down, speed it up, depending on what we need at the time. And I'd also say that he probably took one touch too many before releasing the ball as well. And then he's picked up another yellow card. I can see him getting a suspension quite quickly, to be honest. So I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. You guys are going to be like, you're so freaking Sangare goggles. Oh, just because you lot got him signed. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see what you guys went. You lot went higher than me. No one can say anything to me. Then. I went 5, you lot went 5.8. All right. I want apologies in the chat. Okay? That's what I want right now. Some apologies. Subs are 69 minutes as set by the Premier League, says Stuart. Subs, I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to Nuno. Wolfie, you're so mean, man. What's Sangare done to you? Yeah, I've got a Sangare agenda. You'll openly admit it now. You lot have caught me out. Sangare is a walking red card waiting to happen. I think that's a bit OTT, Owen. A bit OTT. Oh, man, we got Liverpool next, haven't we? We got Liverpool. Is Dave happy? I don't know. I ain't spoken to him yet. Has he messaged? I don't think he has. Okay, so let's move on from Sangare. Let's talk about Anderson. I think potentially candidate for man of the match. I'll be putting his name forward as an option. But again, I would say he probably ran out of a little steam with 10 to 15 minutes to go. But before that, I mean, that run he did into the box where he kind of zipped himself in and out, got his shot away. He deserved to go from that. I think I like him in that 8 position. And it does make you question, well, how do we get Ward-Prowse in? If you assume that the 6 is between Sangare and, say, Yates, then the 8 is between Dominguez, Anderson, and James Ward-Prowse. So, and it's, yeah, you're right. He got the assist. The corner is so nice to not be like seeing Morgan Gibbs-White on corners. I love Morgan Gibbs-White, but Anderson's corners are way better. In fact, I would put Anderson on both sides. I don't know why Elanga's taking the other side. I don't think Elanga's corners have been that great. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I thought the boy did quite well. I'm going to go as high as an 8. Maybe a little too high. No doubt I'm going to be accused of being fanboy this, fanboy that, but whatever. I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. Let's see what you guys did. 7.5. Okay, we're back to within half a point of each other. Not too bad at all. Quick reminder, do hit the like button. There's over 500 of you watching this. Please do hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well. If you're new, both are completely free to do. 7.5. All right, fair enough, chat. I think that's fine. Okay, let's talk about Elanga. I don't think he had a good game. There were times, look, in the first half, he was definitely better. And the one where he got in behind, he was unlucky when he put that low cross in to not be able to find someone, right? I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying not to put any kind of my subjective thoughts on him. And yeah, I knew it'd come up. Red T saying agenda. Not so much as an agenda. I just want him to kick on. Like he's been stuck in this potential. The kid's got potential tag for now about 4 or 5 years. I'm just not seeing it, man. It's like he's got the pace. He still doesn't want to take. I want to see him take on his fullback. I feel he works best. What I'll say about Elanga is he needs a team. I'm talking the opposition who play up on the halfway line where we can put the ball in over the top and let him use his pace like we did against Newcastle. I will go as far to say as I think Elanga suits Cooper's football more than he does Nuno's ball, because I think Elanga looked really good under Cooper and not as good under Nuno. And because what you'd find with Cooper Ball is the opposition are playing on the halfway line, leaving the space in behind for him to run. He's kind of got... Do you remember when Johnson was similar in his style, where instead of crossing, he would shoot, instead of shooting, he would cross? But then Johnson got that out of his game. I think back to the Chelsea game when we still had Jono, where he could have put a player in, but then he rectified it the next week in the Southampton match. Elanga's not doing that for me. Stuart, you're right. He's a Sterling. Or an Aaron Lennon. I don't know if you guys remember Aaron Lennon, but he's a bit of an Aaron Lennon for me. So I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. You lot will say agenda, whatever. I'm just telling you how I see it. You guys have gone 5.6. So you lot have got the agenda then. You lot have got the agenda. Should have took the money, says Fred. If it was just straight money without crappy Miggy Almiron, I would have said yeah. But Almiron's old, man. He's 30 years old. If Sosa crossed first time, Elanga was in a good position in the box and would probably have scored. Apart from that, I can't see any positives with Elanga. I don't trust him to score either. But then again, his finishing is probably a little better than his crossing. He got a few decent goals last season. Anyway, let's talk about Hudson-Odoi. Probably for me, his worst game for a long time. And I do worry he's becoming predictable. Too many times cussing in. And the 1 or 2 opportunities he made for his cheat code shot, he didn't really hit them clean. And they just bobbled through to the keeper or got blocked. I just am worried a little bit, just a little bit, that the opposition now know what to expect with him. And I think he just needs to spice up. Sometimes go outside, sometimes go inside, sometimes lay it off and make a run. You know, it's when Sosa came on, I thought he was more versatile in what he was doing. He was going outside, he was cutting in, he was crossing the ball, left foot, right foot, it didn't matter. I think the biggest problem Callum Hudson-Odoi has is that he's too right-footed. So it's very rare he'll run to the byline and then just whip a crossing. And I think that's part of the problem of him being predictable. But I'm not saying he had a stinker today, by the way, either. I just feel it was obvious. Every time he was cutting in, it was just too obvious that it was going to happen, and Wolves dealt with it quite easily. So I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. But that's why I'm giving him the 5. You guys went 5.5. Nick saying no player should have been above a 4. I disagree, man. I thought Sosa was good. Anderson was good. And the 2 defenders were all right. I don't know. I'm a little deflated. Just because I felt the first half was so good and we were building momentum towards something. And then when we took the lead, in my heart, I was thinking we should be kicking on now. And then we give away that goal. And you just wonder if we'd held out for 5 minutes, what would it have been like? You know, could it have been a lot different? I don't know. Anyway, so that's him. Talk about Morgan Gibbs-White. Standout moments, his free kick was actually really good. Sam Johnson did really well to save it. Yes, Crypto, how you doing? I just personally think when he dropped deeper, when we went to a 4-4-2, he looked way better. Way better. There was still, like, he works so hard. You can't take that away from him. I just was having dreams last night of him having that moment again, fingers in the ears and everything. Hey, Matty, good to see you, buds. I don't think he had a stinker at all. I think he's like a 6 for me. It was, put it this way, it was like a 6 for the first 70 minutes. When he went back into the 8, he was like an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give him like a 7. I think a 7 for me. But I still want more production. Now, I think the biggest issue for Morgan Gibbs-White is how deep Chris Wood plays. And therefore, he's got one less body to work in front of. There's a couple of times where they nearly ran into each other. I bet Someone check Sofascore for me. If you haven't got Sofascore, go scan, type in exclamation mark Sofa in there. Check the average player position. Was Chris Wood deeper than Morgan Gibbs-White on average? I haven't seen it, but I damn well will probably guess he's at least level with him. And that creates a problem. That creates a problem that he only then has 2 real outlets on the wing and nothing in front of him. That's my worry. This is why we needed a striker so badly in this window. You guys got a 6.7. Again, we're not too far off. I'll accept a 6.7 on a Morgan Gibbs-White. Just want to see more from him, says Matt. I agree. He seems to break quicker than the rest. So when he gets going, he ain't got nothing to aim for. Says Tom. Nick says, what's the point of bringing all these players in just to play same old duds? One word sum up the game. Meh. To an extent, I agree with the meh. I feel meh quite right now. But in a way, is it good we're getting disappointed a little bit with the draw? Look, we're undefeated. Let's remember that. We're 8th in the league. We do have Liverpool and Brighton coming up. That's going to be a little bit sweaty. But I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. Okay, let's talk about Chris Wood. Now, he scores the goal, doesn't really do much else, and then scores another goal, and he's marginally offside. Chris Wood will keep scoring. And he's becoming an enigma. Like, he scores but doesn't offer too much to the team. But he's done his job, and here comes his number 1 defender, Jessica. When all is said and done, Wood done his job. And that's my headache with him, Jessica. Thank you so much for the £2. Is it enough for a striker just to score the goals? Now, I could argue yes, but I could also argue no. I just wish he would play higher up. I almost want him to become a goal hanger because he doesn't have the pace to get in behind. The one time he ran in behind, he was offside. But why doesn't he just play higher up? That's the bit that's baffling me. And Sels keeps targeting him for the long balls. And there's only 1 or 2 that he was able to properly connect with. He's paid to score goals. He did and nearly got a second. I get the argument. Yeah, as kind of said, it's a bit of the Haaland situation, isn't it? Haaland gets like 8 touches a game and 3 of them are goals. Maybe my mindset is being harsh on it, but I'm just thinking to myself, if we did have a more dynamic forward who could still score, would we get more out of the game? Would we get more out of the game? Because when you look at it realistically, today's goal was from a set piece. The second goal, had it gone in, was from a set piece. Who scored against Southampton? I can't even remember. Morgan Gibbs-White. That was from a set piece off the back of a corner. Bournemouth. Who scored for Bournemouth? Chris Wood. Did we score from a corner against Bournemouth? I can't remember, chat. I've gone blank on that goal. No, it was a cross, wasn't it? Yates took the shot. So 66% of our goals are now coming from dead balls. I don't know. I don't know. Surely a more dynamic forward could create the goals Chris Wood has and more. That's what I'm trying to get to, Tom. You've kind of summed up the waffle I've just said in one sentence. That's my thinking here. That's my thinking here. I'm not saying that he's not doing his job. I am saying he's 100% done his job. But with a more dynamic forward, should we be getting more out of it? That's my point here. Look, I'll give him a 7 today. I'll give him a 7 today. Because he scored the goal and nearly scored the second goal. But I do have rising concerns. You guys went exactly a 7 as well. Everton Mike has posted the ultimate rant. We should do a Mike watch along on his rants. But anyway, let's continue with Forest. Okay, so the substitutions, I think first on was Ryan Yates, wasn't he? Look, Ryan Yates did fine. Nothing spectacular. Nothing. Where is he? Nothing out of the ordinary. He just did a Ryan Yates game for me. No complaints about the substitution. I think that needed to happen. I think he's just a 6, really. He came on, did what he needed to do. Didn't really change the game. well, I think probably was a little better than Sangare. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. You guys have gone 5.62 for Ryan Yates. How's that a Yates agenda, bro? I just said he did his job. Okay. Yates is like the date no girl wants to date. Stuart, I think we'll see 3 at the back, a more defensive lineup against Liverpool. Well, we'll cross that when we get to it. Stuart saying a 5. Everton Mike losing his mind on this. I can't wait. I'm gonna watch that with my dinner. I can't wait. Okay. Let's move on to the next sub was Sosa. Now, I thought Sosa was really good. The moment he came onto the pitch, he came with energy, with desire. It felt to me like he was saying to Nuno, you need to pick me. I'm sick of being on the bench now. I'm putting, my flag in the ground to say it's time now. I've settled in. Let's get on with it. I thought he was good. Nice crosses. Apart from his corner, that was a poor cross. But the rest of his game, I thought was fantastic. And I feel he had a direct impact on the game. He forced Doherty to get deeper. We were getting more attacks down that left-hand side. And I liked it. Why isn't anyone noticing that both of our wingers cut in instead of crossing the ball? I mean, I've already said that, bro. I've said that. These subs are starters, says Stuart. I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10. I liked what I saw of him today. And there's little elements of skill that I liked. So I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10. All right. Let's see what you guys did. 6.27. 6.27. I've posted the Wooden's Taiwo heat maps for you. I want the average position, John. Was he behind Morgan Gibbs-White or not? I'm sorry, I'm just getting over this 6.27. All right, fine. You're playing the sub rule, so you lot are saying 7. He's a sub. He didn't get 10 minutes. He got 20 because there's 10 minutes additional, and he came on in the 80th minute. I think you lot are harsh. I think there's some Sosa agendas already with you lot, which does worry me a little. I'm just moving on. The poor guy, man. Do you know how badly he wanted to come to Forest, and you lot are rejecting like that? You're rejecting him. Subro, and you gave him an 8. Yes, Josh. Yes, I stand by my 8. I stand by it, Chucker. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'll tell you why he's an 8, because I guarantee you freaking lot in the chat with your double standards, in about 5 minutes when we do the player rate of the man of the match, you lot are going to want him as one of the candidates. So how can he not be an 8? 8 easy if he 8s as a 6, says Hoover. Owen going for a 9 on Jota. Subro, he was a 9, yeah. I didn't see him do anything wrong. And I stand by it. I stand by it. All right, Jota. Didn't have too much time, to be fair. He got, what, 10 minutes and they were just injured? No, he got 9 minutes. I didn't say you'd give him man of the match. I'm saying you want him as a candidate for man of the match. I thought he was all right when he came on as well. Jota. I'll give Jota a 7 with the sub rule a 6. I thought he was good. He just didn't get enough minutes. I'm really annoyed on how late those changes were with Nuno. But yeah, he should have started. For me, he should have started. See what you guys did. I still can't believe you lot gave Sosa 6.2. The agendas are just disgusting. These are your players, man. These are your players. 6.4 from you guys. That's fine. I understand that. That's like a 7.4 with the sub rule. Okay. So, and then the final change was Taiwo. Taiwo was terrible. I didn't go in on him after he missed the penalty. Like, anyone can miss a penalty, yeah? I think I'm more annoyed with his performance today. Now, again, he only got 9 minutes, but I thought Jota had a bigger impact than he did. He's not fit, he's not sharp, but worse than all of that, he's got no confidence. And when you play with no confidence and you shin every touch, and even when you're confident, you're Bambi on ice. Without confidence, you're like Bambi's mum, man. You're dead. You're literally dead. It's like, what can be done here? And this is our backup for Chris Wood, who's playing too deep, who is scoring the goals. If Chris Wood goes through a dry patch, we better rely on the wingers to score. Now, having said all that, I'm not ready to give up on him. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not ready to give up on him. I just think back to those beautiful Bambiano shinners towards the end of the first season, where he looked confident, he looked strong, he looked quick. I would not bring Hwang in. What? You lot are on some next level today, seriously. Seriously, what the hell, man? Bring Hwang in. I don't know how he gets his confidence back. And by the time he does, he's probably going to get injured anyway. I thought his performance today was poor. I'm giving him a 3. A 3. Let's see what you guys did. You guys went 4.35. So you technically, with the sub rule, you lot gave him nearly 5.5, and you're complaining that I gave Sosa an 8. My God, you lot are weird, man. Seriously. Okay, let's talk about Nuno. We don't talk about it. We've done that joke too many times. Okay, Nuno's team was fine. The tactics were fine. There's only one thing to talk about, and that's the subs. They're too late. They're the right subs at the wrong time. I almost feel like with Nuno, someone needs to give him a stopwatch, right? And then, like at halftime, Nuno, here's a stopwatch, mate. It's going to go off every 10 minutes because clearly you get too endorsed into the game and too engrossed into it, and you forget. And then I feel like suddenly someone nudges him, one of the assistants, be like, "Yo, Nuno, man, what about the subs?" He's like, "Oh yeah, shit, crap, forgot about that." Someone needs to give him a stopwatch that goes off every 10 minutes in the second half. So it goes off at the 55th minute, the 65th minute, and the 75th minute. And when it goes off, it will remind him, make a sub. Because the players look knackered. It needs to be done. Oh my God, I just got a message from Everton Mike. Hold on. Okay, I can't read that out. There's some big words in there that even I won't say on it. Anyway, sorry. So that's my problem with Nuno. I love everything else about him. Apart from his presses, they're really boring. But apart from that, he got it all right. I just feel like, is he missing a little killer instinct to take a little bit of a risk? You know, he did that by putting 2 strikers up at the end, but again, it was pointless. It was too late in the game. I don't know what to give him. I'm going to give him a 6. We're undefeated. I like him. It needs that killer instinct. I just Nuno, please sort out the freaking subs, man. Please. Okay, let's see what you guys did. You guys went 4.8. Okay, that's a little harsh, man. He is undefeated. There's only, 4 managers undefeated in the Premier League? You're a little harsh. And as Tom says, I agree. We're 100% playing better than we did against Cooper. We've improved. We just need that little kick on. And I think it comes from that tacticalness of knowing what to do with the substitutions. Okay, let's do the man of the match. So who do you guys want? Let's just check on the like count, by the way. Why are you guys always lazy on this player ratings? Is it because you're so engrossed in figuring out to the percentage what you guys like? Get those likes up, guys. We're on 111 likes. Right? You hit that like button, right? And get some names in for me. Honestly, you're disappointing me with Sosa. You're disappointing me with the likes. What's going on today, right? Okay, all I'm seeing is Anderson, so I'm gonna pick the names then. You lot. I'm gonna. All right. Okay, you've all got Anderson in there. I need 3 other names. We gotta make this fair. So, just waiting to watch Mike. Yeah, I'm rushing this because I want to watch Mike as well. I'll post it on our channel's community tab as well for those of you not subscribed. Okay, so I'm gonna put Wood, Anderson. I'm putting Sosa on just to annoy you lot. And who else? Who else? Thing is, I've put it on. Jessica's obviously going to vote for Wood with her Wood goggles. All right, you lot want Murillo or MGW? I'll I guess Murillo, whatever. I'm pretty sure there's only going to be one winner. But anyway, the poll is up. Get your votes in. How can you miss Milenkovic? I haven't. But the chat got an agenda against him. Okay, so let's have a look at how you're voting. So, Shock Horror Anderson is in the lead with 73% of the vote. Wood has Jessica's vote and actually a couple of others. He's on 17%. Sosa on 9%. Shout out to the 9% of you. And Murillo's got 4% of the vote. Okay, you got 10 more seconds to get your votes in. West Ham tied Man City. I can't believe you used the word tied, man. Okay, 10 seconds to go. Wood is slowly gaining on Anderson, but he's never going to get there in a month of Sundays. But 5 seconds to go. Your man of the match with a whopping 67%, 66 now percent of the vote goes to Mr. Anderson, who officially got man of the match. I don't know, but your votes are more important than the official one. It didn't need a vote, did it? It was obvious. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of the player ratings. Thank you for chilling with us. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button, you lazy gits. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. We're back tomorrow with Grumpy Old Reds tomorrow night. Make sure you tune in. I'm interested to see how the boys felt the game went from the stadium view. Thank you for chilling with us. Come on, you Reds.